Howdy. Thanks for joining this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing our upcoming meetup in Dallas, Texas, where we're meeting at. A recap of Viko's challenge, 5 bullet points made it simple. A mental health check-in for all of our followers out there. Things that go bump into the night continued. Recanting some different stories from both the Jarl and Viko, as well as Jurassic Park 2.0. We'll find out when we get there. A wild card thrown out there by the Jarl. I'm sure it has giant ramifications. And, of course, all of our shout-outs to our sponsors and those that help this thing go. With that being said, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's get to it, man. Howdy.
Right.
Welcome to this week's episode of Vikings, Outlaws, and Cowboys. I'm your host, Viko, the bearded one. And, of course, I'm joined, as always, by his bouginess, the Jarl, Alex Martinez.
Ma'am.
Madam. What's going on, man? How's your day going?
Oh, it was long. It was one of those long days. Yeah. I even had to do a little CNP again today.
Ooh, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't as depressing, although there was no good news to be had.
That's always terrible. Fucking day.
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know, at the least on the, I got the long and short of it. We're getting together in what, a week? What is it?
like almost exactly a week.
Yeah, 8 days. That ain't bad.
Yeah.
7 days and wake up.
Ooh.
Gonna be spicy.
I hear Texas jail is bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not like it was the Alamo or anything. Oh, that reminds me, by the way.
What?
So last week, I was like John Bowie. John Bowie wasn't the guy who died at the Alamo. That was just some crazy thing. It was actually like David Bowie. Hold on, I'm gonna actually Google it right now.
No. Now you're just talking about David Bowie.
No, maybe. Who made the Bowie knife? That's the question.
Definitely wasn't David Bowie. And it's Bowie.
I mean, it's whatever you wanted to call it.
It's Bowie,
right?
dude. I'm telling you.
No.
Was it Jim Bowie?
So it was So Jim Bowie was Resin Bowie's brother, and so Jim Bowie was the American like hero, and his brother made the knife that he became famous for stabbing bitches with, right? But Jim Bowie did die at the Alamo. So,
yeah,
but I was saying John.
Bowie.
I was saying no. I said John Bowie. So I have to make it a correction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because everybody's fucking named John.
A little redaction. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to hold accountability for myself.
Accountability. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
No, I got nothing. Man. I don't even know I'm here.
I don't even actually right now. No, I don't know I'm here either. It's fucking late. This is gonna be the best podcast because we're gonna forget about everything by the time I make it tomorrow.
It is night time.
It is bedtime for us old farts. So we got the upcoming meetup in Texas. We'll be there the night of the 16th, 17th, and 18th. I fly back home to Montana on the 19th, but we are having a random incursion into Dallas.
Oh yes, an incursion. Is that what we're calling it?
I think that we should.
I think we should call it the Dallas incursion.
Or a raid. I mean, I feel like raid is getting really close to like pillaging, and we're just not there yet. Yeah. We're not there yet, right?
Yeah. Just small little battle.
Yeah, it's just an incursion. We're just scoping the area out to see if we actually want to raid it, right? So it's an incursion.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're going to be at the Southern Junction Steakhouse on Friday, the 17th.
We'll probably be dressed like the locals too. That's how an incursion works. You got to sneak in. It's like stealth,
okay. Again, I'm going to bring my hat, and I'm also going to be purchasing a new one while we're there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
So we're going to be doing an incursion. I'm going to have my shit kickers. I'm bringing my nice ones, the black ones. So I'm gonna be bringing my black shit kickers and hanging out with the peeps. We got representation from Irreverent Warriors Dallas going to be there, and San Antonio.
Oh, Dallas is going to be there, and San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a long drive for people.
Interesting.
People are getting hotels to stay and hang out.
Dang, it's going to be big.
There's going to be like 3 people that will show up.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's fine, whatever. We don't give a shit. We'll make a name for ourselves either way.
Yeah, exactly. The steakhouse will know who we are by the time we leave.
I'm thinking bearded Viking undershirt with a blazer over the top.
A blazer. Please don't pack a blazer.
It's happening.
Oh God.
It's gonna be so terrible. It's gonna be awesome.
It's no good.
Mm-hmm. We also have to recap on the challenge because I ramble. Apparently.
Oh, you what?
I know.
I've never known that.
Viko's challenge. 5 easy steps.
There's words. 5 now. I thought there was 3 last time.
No. There's 5 easy steps.
Oh, there's 5 easy steps.
5 easy steps.
Okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Okay.
Share on your social media page of your choosing, whatever it is, and tag a friend. Also tag us. Tag us and a friend.
Okay, let's get those 5 again. Fast. Okay.
Like, share, subscribe. Share. Tag us and a friend.
So we're sharing twice?
Yes. No, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm new to this, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tag 2 friends. Or tag us and a friend.
All right.
5 easy steps. 5 easy steps. Less words, 5 easy steps.
Right. So they could tag like Bearded Viking, or they could tag the Jarl, or they could tag, they could tag any of us, or they could
any of us.
Just do Bearded Viking. Okay.
Well, no, tag the Bearded Viking, and then we'll share it out amongst us.
All right. Sounds good.
Put on your stories.
Ooh.
Your sagas.
I want to see your stories, your sagas.
I want to see your sagas.
Speaking about stories and sagas,
what's up?
Did you see that there was fish caught last weekend?
I did. Okay. I want, for the listeners, I'm extremely impressed because the Jarl, his bouginess does not do things that is not bougie. So he usually has to have like a videographer, like he's got to pop smoke, walk through it, get his makeup done and shit.
Fireworks.
But you did it. You did 2 reels, 2 in one sitting. I mean, I'm blown away.
To be fair, the one got messed up because the fish was supposed to be there.
Well, I thought the second one got mixed up because the boat was recording and he has a problem with wind.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Well, it is windy.
It's not windy in Montana or
I don't even think it was windy. I think it was just his own breath, you know.
Well, I mean, you were smoking meat.
Yeah, it was delicious meat. There was a fat chunk of meat on the grill, so
give me the recap. So you roll up to Strawberry Reservoir, and was it a hand crank? We talked about a hand crank. Did he hand crank it?
So we had a backup hand crank, but we had the gas powered one, and it worked fine. It was like, it was probably like 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet thick. It was some serious ice.
Nice.
But once we got the auger going, she went right through. It was pretty good. And it was the boys' first experience ice fishing, and he totally destroyed. Yeah, this is his first. He's caught one before from the shore, but not like this. You know, like he did it all himself. You know, so it was a real deal for him. So he pulled up the cutty, had to throw the cutthroat back, and then pulled up the big rainbow right as we're packing up. Like we were packing everything up, putting it back on the sled for our death march out of there. It was terrible. So he's like, Dad, I got a fish. I was like, don't lie. I was like, quit bullshitting. He's like, no, seriously. And he like stands up all excited and he's going to town. And sure enough, there's a freaking rainbow on there. And, you know, threw that on the grill as well.
Nice, dude. Nice. I will next time I see the saber tooth. That's what I call him. He hates it, and we'll get to a little bit more about your ass's head at park here in a little bit. But Next time I see him, I'm gonna call him out on grabbing a fish because that shit was comedy.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to grab it. The
He
first
got
one
kicked.
he was okay with, but the second one he was not having it.
That's comedy to me. I'm going to give him shit for it for the rest of his entire life.
But yeah,
So
it was fun, but yeah, the death march out, because you got to walk down a fairly steep, incline to get down onto the ice from the parking lot.
oh yeah,
From where we were. So it was just kind of put the sled rope around your torso and just start going. I started having flashbacks of Bridgeport
oh
and
Jesus,
tugging a sled without snowshoes.
That's most epic.
It was murder.
How'd your legs feel today?
Not good, because yesterday was leg day.
Oh, so you
Monday.
had a back-to-back
Yeah.
leg day, basically.
Yeah,
Nice.
international leg day. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
The honky actually introduced me to these stupid fucking squat things. I can't remember. Anterior lunges. Oh my god, they're fucking horrible, man. They make every part of your soul scream for mercy as soon as you bend one knee down.
Oh, dude,
So bad.
I'm about to install a rope to so I can pull myself off the toilet after leg day.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No more squats.
No more squats.
No more squats.
No more squats. Except for all the more squats.
Oh yeah.
I mean, some of us apparently have fucking lizard legs or something. I don't know what we have.
Chicken legs. It's chicken.
I said lizard, bro. I look good when I have my shorts on and my redneck workout gear.
Whatever.
Stop. You got a little jewel right there. It's fine.
Sorry. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I tried to hide it.
Oh, dude. Those are huge wins, man. Those are fucking huge wins. We base this podcast and we have everything that we're doing here for the Bearded Viking overall as an organization. And, we're one day going to be employees that get paid. But in the meantime, this is our way of reaching out. And this is the whole process of this is just helping people hang out with us. Now, I want to do something real quick. I'm going to toss it over to you in a second, but we actually had we've had a couple of users that have just said, they've reached out to us and said, or users, listeners, whatever. A couple listeners that have reached out and said, you know what, man, I love it when I'm listening in and I'm just there and it feels like I'm just with you guys and we're hanging out. But we keep calling this out. And I really want everybody to know, this is really just about y'all. I mean, Al and I do this all the time. We do this on the phone. We in person, it's shenanigans.
Yeah. Oh, it's just hey, I'm bored. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm on top of a mountain. I'm snowed in.
I'm bored.
The girls are upstairs and they're doing girl stuff, and I need some testosterone in my life.
Right, you got kicked out of the upstairs.
Yeah, now I'm secluded to my man cave.
Go to your corner.
Yeah, I mean, and luckily my man cave has dope things like whiskey, and tonight I'm drinking tequila
and a bird.
A falcon. Yeah, a peregrine falcon, who by the way is has not flown away, so that's nice.
Who?
No, it's not an owl.
Oh.
So we've talked a lot about mental health. We talked about we started off with my story, which I want everybody to realize that it's not about the dark, right? The dark is always going to be there. And we've talked about the saga, choosing your saga and battling, right? But I think there's a piece, and we touched on it just a little bit ago tonight, that I think we can talk about a little bit more tonight. I don't want to go too in depth on it, because one thing that we do want you guys to realize is that as a crew, we're always striving to be better, right? So, Alex, we talked a little bit about basically men's mental health and how people are the people who are able to survive actually no longer embrace a victim mentality. So can you kind of elaborate a little about that conversation we were having?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it is we talked about a lot of the lows, right? We started out the lowest of the low, and then we talked about the buildups and everything. But what I think that we haven't really came across and told very well is the triumphs and staying on top, not beating yourself up about the same shit that happened 5, 10, 15 years ago, or however long it might have happened.
Right.
But just staying on top, focusing on the wins that you have, and focusing on what you're doing to make yourself better, what you're doing to stay positive and stay winning, not dwelling on the past. Just kind of like if we were going to use like an example that everybody's heard, if they listen to the last episode, when we got together on for the last episode, I was like, dude, today sucked because I just gone and done a bunch of comp and pen appointments where you're just rehashing old shit over and over and over again.
Right.
Well, it doesn't really matter how long ago it was. You start rehashing old shit, it just becomes exhausting because then it just takes you back to that spot. And by now, you should be so far past that spot that, you think about it every once in a while, it pops up. Some memories are worse than others. Things are going to pop up from time to time, but not to focus on, I'm beat up, I'm busted up, and that's just the way I'm going to be. That's not the way it is. You can do whatever. Like, I found out that I was like deaf today, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have some fancy new ears soon.
Makes so much more sense why like this is the best way we communicate. Right?
It's because I have ears.
You have loud ears
and
on.
it's so loud. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, but you can't dwell on shit like that. It's like, shit, dude, it's out of your hands, dude. You just got to keep going.
Dude, absolutely. I've got something to echo what you're saying there. So flashback to 2012-ish when I was diagnosed with PTSD, right? So, everybody's like, oh, the 100-yard stare or whatever, the 100-mile stare, whatever the actual proper term is. I didn't have that. I was just me until I was cut off on the freeway coming down Immigration Canyon. I'm in a minivan, and I was married at the time, so I'm cut off by this guy.
That was why you were really angry. Was the minivan?
Actually, dude, that minivan was fucking actually super comfortable. Like, it was so comfortable. Like, I could totally see. Like, listen, if you're a dad driving a minivan, listen, I ain't gonna knock you. I get it, right? Like, there's just so much more room for activities. I get it. Like, you can do kung fu in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta pop that bitch open. You got surround sound.
And they fold down. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can go sort of camping wherever you want. You can go camping at Walmart if you really wanted to. Like, it's fun.
Oh yeah, people do it every day.
Yeah. So, so this dude cuts me off, right? And I run him off the road with my ex-wife and my kids. This might have been a precursor to why we didn't work out, but it might not have been. We don't know. It's fine.
Throw some stuff at the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah, exactly. So I have my 3 daughters and her 3 kids in the back, and they're all the same ages. They're like paired up, basically. And I get out, and this dude gets out, and we're about to go to blows. And I hit the open button to grab a tire iron because I'm not fucking around. And as I'm walking past the window, I look in the back, and all the kids are crying, and I'm like, nope.
Might have gone too far.
I'm not doing this today. Like, I should never even got to this point, right? So I close it, and I walked up to the guy. I said, "Hey, I went too far. You can punch me if you want, but I'm sorry. I fucked up." Just took ownership of that moment, right?
Was he bigger than you?
No, actually, he was a small. He's a small person.
Okay, so it wasn't somebody that was like 7 feet tall, and you're like,
no, because he wasn't in a Miata. He was just in. Right. He was like in a, I don't know, a Prius.
You didn't see like the kids' faces look up, and you're like, oh, this is gonna hurt, like one of those things.
No, it was, and I had like that blind rage, right. Anyways, so it wouldn't have even mattered. Like, it was just it was gonna happen one way or another. But
you waterboard on his ass.
Yeah, so like, I just looked over and I saw my kids, and that brought me immediately back to reality, right? Well, so then immediately the next day I go to the VA. I just went to the walk-in clinic where they allow you to come in, and they like, hey, fill out this questionnaire, and if you answer these questions wrong, you have PTSD. Well, I answered like 9 out of the 10 or whatever they are fucking questions wrong. I'm like, did you know that you have PTSD? I'm like, well, no.
I had a sneaking suspicion.
I didn't know, but I have a feeling, right? So then I actually go through the whole diagnostic process and comp and pen and all this other bullshit, right? And the VA actually told me originally, like, no, you don't have PTSD. And then like 4 years later, they came back and said, hey, by the way, you have PTSD. Well, here's the thing. I'd already moved past that part of my life. I'd buried all my fucking emotions. I was like, fuck this
Right.
bullshit, right? So kind of like what you're talking about the old shit.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, you have PTSD. And, me being an alpha male kind of mentality, I was really kind of, it knocked me off of my path to move forward, right? Because then all of a sudden I was brought back to this, oh, poor you, poor whatever, battling, you're struggling, you're not going to make it out on your own kind of feel, which is probably accurate. I
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
gonna.
for sure, because like that's kind of what happened to me on Monday too, right? You rehash all that old shit, and then he's like, the guy in the room, like the evaluator, he's like, yeah, I could see how you could have some PTSD and stuff. He's like, maybe you should go talk to somebody. Like,
You're like,
as we were there,
you're like,
I was
fuck
like,
you,
oh
dude.
fuck, I thought I was good before today.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it brings you back down. It's like knocks you. It's not humbling. Being humbled
Right.
is fine. This is a kick to the dick and you fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just like, wait, hang on. I thought we were done with this shit.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of, and it's not funny, but it's kind of funny at the same time. Right.
Well, now that you've been through it, it's funny. But when you're there, it really brings you back. And so here's the thing that happened for like 6 months, dude. I couldn't get out of my own way because I was so
Mhm.
focused on the fact that I had PTSD and that I had all these issues and whatnot. And it actually took my old boss. His name's Dan. He's the owner of a company called Ampion HR and Ampion Staffing. And he pulled me aside. He's like, dude, you used to like just go at it, and like you've been super depressed and you have all of this anxiety all of a sudden. What's going on? And I was like, well, I was diagnosed with PTSD and I just don't know how to overcome that. And he's like,
You
you
already
wake,
overcame it, dude.
yeah, he was like, you just wake up and you go to work and you fucking put your boots on and you hang out with your friends and you talk about it. And I was like, yeah, but that's like weak. And he's like, that's not weak. That's the strongest thing you can do. Is because he's like, listen, you could either focus on the negative or you could focus on the positive. And you focus on the positive, guess what happens? Your life becomes positive. You focus on the negative and you start attracting negative into your life. And during that time, I went through a lot of negative things at the same time. And it's really just kind of like this, looking back, it's like, oh, so you're Bill Walsh. Okay, cool. You invented the West Coast office. Why can't you just tell that to everybody and they can do it? The problem is, and just echoing what you're saying, dude, it's really a focus of, or it's a really, the idea is actually just really shifting your focus. It's really just, I could focus on the negative because I got kicked in the dick so hard that I'm not going to have kids and my grandkids aren't going to have kids.
Mhm.
But the grandkids that I adopt, obviously, because I can't have kids, right? Pardon me. But it was a shift of focus. And these meetups where we hang out and we talk to each other, and also for anybody else, talking about it and getting it out of the way, getting it off your chest is a real thing. And I think we both do this really well. And I think um, our crew does this really well. When one of us is feeling anxious, we say, "Hey, dude, I feel like I got a shitload of anxiety on my shoulders and my chest right now."
Yeah, this is what's going on.
Yeah, we just talk about it. And what we do is instead of fucking focusing on the thing that's causing that, we focus on ways to help you identify that you're still winning.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest part is, you can't go back and change it, right? So
No.
whether you have it or whether you don't, or whether you fucked up in the past or or you didn't or whatever, don't focus on it. There comes a time where you have to get over it. You can't dwell on it, and you just gotta fucking power through and move on. And that's not an easy thing to say, and it's not an easy thing to do sometimes. But just you have to. Only you can change the way that you're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, do I still have dumb issues, just like you have dumb issues, that little things that fucking drive me crazy? Absolutely. Like I can't get over those. That's just a trigger point. Like little things that are stupid for no reason piss me off to a next level.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I have no control over being that way anymore.
it's like a lack of common sense or
Yes.
you didn't go through the critical thinking class in college, the common sense class.
Yeah, which they don't teach, but yeah. No, but but the thing is that we surround ourselves with people that understand who we are as friends and as family, and they can bring us out of it left and right by just being like, dude, quit fucking looking at that shit. Look, you are XYZ. You are, let's say, you're a mechanic, and yeah, today you got your dick kicked in and you feel worthless. But guess what? You're putting fucking food on the table for your family, and they love you. Your kids fucking run up to you every day. And
Mhm.
those kind of comments save lives, right?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things too is being able to trust people around you, so you can tell them stuff, even if you tell them just the PG version of what happened. At least you're still kind of unloading that onto others at some point where they're like, oh, okay, I have a little bit better of understanding. Like,
Yeah.
some people aren't going to be able to take the rated R version, so be careful about that. Unless you're with a big group of military buddies and everybody's got all kinds of rated R stories, and then let it fly. But
Rated R's
some
for pussies.
right, NR-13 or whatever.
Is it
Um,
NR-13?
is it what is it NR or
It's like
NC-17?
NC
NC-17. That's
17.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
fucking not
rated for
rated.
13.
I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, yeah, be careful with the things that you share for certain people, but I think for the most part, you have to let, especially, wife, husband, you know, bear some of that burden a little bit, and it might just be the PG version, but I think it'll help understand,
And if you don't have,
understand each other.
yeah, if you don't have a significant other or a spouse, right? Like, the challenge really that we're doing with Viko's challenge is to spread awareness and grow our community. Where you're doing a meetup and you're telling us about it, and if we can come, we're going to come, right? We'd love to, right? We want to be there. We want to support you and your tribe, right? We want to be part of those things. And if we can't, just tag us in it and we'll support you by sharing what you're doing in your community because it's
Yeah,
really
still want to know.
important to us. Yeah, we want to know about all of it. So, um,
We're being Snoopy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like not like
I'm gonna.
not like
I'm gonna.
Chinese balloon Snoopy,
Yeah, not that Snoopy. No.
like satellite Snoopy.
Yeah, not satellite Snoopy.
I mean,
Like
maybe like
like
old, like Hubble telescope Snoopy. Like we can see you
no,
from
like
far away.
no, like the old lady that's standing in her front room peeking through the blind Snoopy.
I'm not going to be referred to as Karen, dude. It's not going to
Oh,
fucking happen.
dude, you are. You're the Viking Karen.
No, man, fuck you. I hope you stub your toe tonight
You didn't know
on
that?
all of the doors.
See, that's what a Karen would say.
No. That's what somebody who's vengeful would say.
Vengeance is spelled JT.
Oh man. So last week when we were talking and you were going through your comp and pen thing, we had a lot of crazy stories, right? I have three
Yeah.
main stories in my life that are paranormal. I've spoken about two of them. I will not speak about the third one until it's daylight. I
Wuss
don't do
bag.
that. Yeah, talk to me about your shit too, bud.
Wuss bag. I did.
No, you didn't. You fucking gave the highest level glossy, oh, this thing one time happened fucking
Well,
overview.
well, I just didn't want to go to jail or like disappeared.
Yeah, so being
That was it.
disappeared and having your soul fucking disappeared too. It's not really on my top 5 things to do in my life.
Well, they should go
Probably
down in like a blaze of glory.
how? There's magic. They're
Like, I don't
fucking
know.
whatever. Anyway,
Just like a
I'm not
silver
going down.
bullet or something. I don't know.
No. Lichens are different, bro.
I don't know.
Don't bait me, bro. We ain't. You don't even have a trapping permit. Quit it.
Bro,
Back the fuck up.
we gotta do a little bit of bait.
No, fair enough.
I am a
Uh,
masturbator.
um, um, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Marine Corps vet. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a trial
Should
by
be a
fire.
service-connected disability.
I don't know why my hand won't open up all the way.
My forearm.
It's so big. I don't know why I look like I'm Popeye all the time.
It's just
fucking
one arm.
weird.
It's like that Family Guy episode.
Yeah. With Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking comedy. So, we left off with some stories that were kind of ghostly.
Yeah, it was spooky.
It was definitely spoopy.
Yeah, I don't know whether people laughed or whether they were creeped out, genuinely,
Or I actually honestly
or a
don't
little
know
bit
if
of both.
people believe it, but also don't give a shit if you do or don't believe it.
Yeah, no, it
So,
happens. It's like
yeah,
one person removed from that other one,
yeah, that was,
and then
yeah,
lived the other ones.
yeah, it was, yeah, it was a bit nuts. Um, so I have a question. So I was talking to the boat,
Okay.
and he was telling me about some sort of haunted apartment or haunted house or something that him and his ex Emily lived in. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, the one that the first fire.
Um, how many fires are we talking here?
There's been like 2 house fires.
Okay. Now, this is the part where I'm actually just, first time in a minute, shut the fuck up and just sit here and listen. So,
so
so I'm going to toss you the ball. I
so what
expect you to
story?
hit the three.
Which story did?
Let's start off with house fire number one. Let's start there. Let's. It seems like a number one seems like a good place to
Well,
start.
so I don't know a lot of spooks about the first one,
Okay,
but
tell us what you got about any of them.
okay. So the second one was just it was weird. It was like it was like 100 and something year old house, and it was in
Totally
the
haunted already. Totally haunted.
yeah, no, there was definitely the spooks were definitely there before that, they ever moved in. But it was like one of those houses where the basement used to just be like the coal storage, where you could shovel the coal into your furnace, and then it got, switched over, and there was like a laundry room down there, and then they made like this little family room down there. So
100% in my mind, I'm thinking of Kevin McAllister and the scary ass fucking furnace in the basement of
yeah,
Home Alone's house.
but it was like packed into like this big, you know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we're talking maybe like the downstairs was maybe 200 square feet, maybe. It
Oof.
was small. So, and like they did what they could, They had like they set it up, and then my brother, of course, insisted that they build like, or that they make like a creepy movie room downstairs. So they made like a family room down there, and it's pretty dope. It was like it was cozy, but fuck that basement all the way off when there was like, and this isn't just like a little kid, there was like something was always like trying to reach out and grab you, or it was like one of those things where it's like you turn the light off and then run up the stairs.
Oh
Then,
yeah.
you know what
Like
I
you're
mean?
still 13 for some reason or 10
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah, you're a grown ass man.
Yeah, that's great. Seems terrible.
But yeah, and then yeah, but I think a bunch of creepy shit happened to him in that house, where things would just go missing and stuff, and he'd turn around and they wouldn't be there, or they'd be there in a different place or something. So I know that the basement there was something fucked up, right? And at some points you're just like, no, I ain't going into that house. I'm done with that house. But and then it burnt down. It caught on fire. Like there was like a electrical fire, some random shit that happened, and it burnt down. I have a funny story about that. It was probably the coolest house fire I've ever been to, by the way.
How many house fires have you been to?
Well, two.
Okay.
So,
So is this what you and my dad talked about for like 17 hours when he went and said hi to him?
could have been. We touched a lot of categories. We really, yeah. There wasn't
Okay.
really a baseline. We were all over,
Well, fair enough. Okay.
I heard a lot about the Green Bay Packers though,
Gross.
so that was good.
That was terrible.
Yeah. So I get a call from my dad, and it was like a Saturday night or something, Friday, Saturday, or something like that. And I just happened to be at the strip club with my buddy, and my dad's like, "Hey, your brother's house is on fire. Get there." And I'm like, and then he just hung up. So I was like, "All right, so is he dead? Like, is he in the fire? Is he fighting the fire? What's going on?" So I talked to my buddy Levi. I was like, "Hey, bro." I was like, "We gotta go. My brother's house is on fire." He's like, "Holy shit, where?" So we took off, went to the house fire, and he had like one of those like 350Zs. So we're going like 100 down State Street. It was great.
Yeah.
And peeled in there. Of course, everything's on fire. We pulled up to the corner, kind of walked around the corner, and my brother's standing outside, and we had beers, right? So we had roadies. So me and Levi walked up, saw that he was okay, saw that the dogs were out, and his wife, and everybody was out. So we cracked the road beers, and we're just sitting there watching the house burn down, right? There's nothing you can do. Everybody's out of the house. It's safe, right? Nobody else's house is on fire. And then their friend comes around the corner dragging a cooler full of beer. And I was like, this is the best house fire ever. Like, I'm bummed that we left the strip club for this, but yeah, I'm glad everybody's okay. So we just drank beer and watched the house burn down.
In my mind, you're literally just singing,
"We ain't got no water.
Let the motherfucker burn." Yeah, I can totally see you fucks doing that.
No, we definitely sang it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a fun house fire.
Interesting.
If there's gonna be a house fire, it's got to happen like that. Everybody's out. You're like, fuck it, shit's burning down.
You can't do anything anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Pay your insurance, folks.
Yeah, definitely. And also don't have creepy fucking weird things lighting shit on fire in the basement.
Yeah, dude. I think we just pissed off one of the ghosts, and like the ghost burnt the house down.
That's super fucking weird. There's actually there's a speaking of ghosts and whatnot, and also to the boat RIP house. Sorry, bud.
They rebuilt that fucker.
Did he get to re-rent it?
Well, no, he bought it. Like that's.
Oh, he bought it.
Yeah, it was the house that they owned. They rebuilt that fucker, and they moved back in. It was way nicer after, but I think it was even more creepy after.
Because
it caught on fire.
Because the ghost now had like those.
Maybe the ghost died for like a second or third time, and he was pissed. I don't fucking know how it works, man. Okay. After that, I pretty much just hung out in the garage because it was a detached garage. Oh, yeah. So after that, I pretty much just hung out in the garage.
You're like, I'm not fucking coming inside. Fuck that bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. I respect that. I totally understand that. We actually have a couple friends that have things. Well, your brother and then Doc. When he was at Sound Hollow, and you guys probably saw this if you were watching any of the YouTube videos about shit that's happened at Sound Hollow. 3 years ago, we're out, and he's got a Polaris, by the way. So if you're a Polaris driver, I'm sorry in advance. So he's got a Polaris, whatever, turbo.
It's like a Razor.
Razor
1000.
12 million R fucking whatever. I don't know the fucking terminology.
With a fire suppression system.
Yeah, so we're cruising. We're headed up to the Flintstone house, which is actually a pretty fun ride. It's a little bit technical, nothing crazy. And
is this before or after you rolled over?
Oh, this was like a year and a half before I rolled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was still being like careful.
Right, makes sense.
But so we're cruising forward. We're cruising, and I'm like the third person in line, and Ryan's at the back end because he likes to fucking haul balls, right? And so we're sitting there, and this dude's like fucking passing all of us, and he's part of our crew that we're whatever, right? And super loud, by the way.
Sorry, I had to plug the thing in, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair
I didn't go through my 7 Ps. Like all prior proper planning went out the window.
Oh, fair enough. I'm like, what is going on? Sounds like a rumbling of thunder.
Are you moving buckles?
In my mind, I was like, the thunder rolls.
Yeah, damn right.
But you're not as cool as him.
You're right. I'm not a Democrat.
There we go. There it is. Anyway, so we're cruising, whatever, right? And this dude's like, "Hey, do you got a fire extinguisher?" Like, this is like my third time rolling, right? It's like, no, I got fucking. Why do I need a fire extinguisher?
Why would I need one of those?
And he's like, "You should have a fire extinguisher, but by the way, Ryan's fucking rig's on fire." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" So like, now I'm stuck like almost in this weird kind of technical area. And so I just mob through this area that I have no business mobbing through to turn around to go see my best friend and see what the fuck's going on. We get there and his entire rig is just melting in front of us.
Yeah.
And
it was a good video.
Yeah, I know. I recorded it. I sent it to you and
Yeah,
everybody else.
like a good friend would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, hey, by the way, you should send some condolences to Ryan because yet again his Polaris isn't drivable.
His
Uh,
his fire suppression system didn't
did
work.
not work. Yeah, professionally installed. Fucking comedy. Anyway, so we roll over and the same exact thing. Like I'm like waiting for Ryan just to start dropping some cunt whore motherfucker things, right? Like
Like
because that's
always.
just like always. Like he walks outside, it's sunny. Fucking blind son of a cunt whore
Fuck
motherfucking
God,
sun. Fuck. Anyway,
stupid.
yeah,
It's hot out.
it's hot. I don't know why it's noon and it's 100 degrees. It doesn't make any sense. I love him to death. Fucking love him to death. But he's just like there's a switch that gets broken at a point when the person who's usually the most vocal about shit is like, I need a beer. And he's just quiet. And all I did was I walked up and I handed him a beer and he's like, I can't do that. I'm like, why? You're not driving anymore.
Oh, it's not too soon. It's not too soon at
The
all.
worst part of the whole ordeal, other than the fact that his rig burned down and turned into basically like the engine and the transfer case and the transmission all looked like the Terminator from Terminator 2.
Right.
The T1000.
It became one with the sand
It
that
just
day.
was like gloop. So we so the worst part was, right? We get back at the end of the day of cruising. Because what else are you going to do? You're going to let it ruin your day? Now, Ryan is absolutely the epitome of what we were talking about with the mental health thing. Like,
Uh-huh.
fuck it. I'm still
Can't
winning.
fucking do anything about it.
All right, nothing. I'm just going forward. I'm winning, right? So we go and we get back and he goes to try to get in his truck and he's checking his pockets
Oh, yeah,
and
I
he's checking his
remember.
wife's fucking bag.
Oh, it's
He's
fucking
checking
great.
all of the gear. Was his fucking truck key melted. The closest place that could get a truck key for him was Vegas, which is 5 hours
Oh,
away.
fuck. Yeah, I
And
forgot
his
about that part of the
spare
story.
key was in Salt Lake. So he has to so he calls him up and he's like, hey, do I have to have my truck towed? What's going on? They're like, well, yeah, we need your truck and we need you and we need your photo ID and your registration. And he's like, how the fuck can I get my registration? It's in my fucking truck. Like this is like he's literally having this conversation right in front of us, throwing shit, and I'm like, okay, well I get this. Like this is the level of frustration now. It has now come to a cusp.
He's
There is
ready
a
to bust his
mini
own window.
Ryan volcano happening in the world, but he can't even. There's no key inside of the truck. There's nothing, right? So we go back to the Airbnb and get completely plastered. It's fucking comedy. And
That
his
makes it
his
better.
his stepson fucking made the long drive down. We got to meet his stepson's girlfriend at the time. That was super fucking weird. Super fucking weird because we're all disgruntled people who are having a great time. We're all old as shit, and there's this like 18-year-old kid and his 18-year-old girlfriend or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, can we have some beer?" And we're like, "No."
Fucking leave. Give us the
Like
key and leave.
no, right? And then they were I'm obviously over exaggerating. They were actually really cool, but it was just really weird to have like all of a sudden this house full of like adults and like there's these like adults by nature.
You're like, do I have to watch what I say now?
Yeah, like I'm like, hey, do we need to turn on the Lion King? Like, what's going on
Right.
here? Like, where are we at? Or this like past that? I don't know how to interact with these people.
What do I do? I don't
What
know
do I
what to
do?
do
I
with
don't
my
know what to do with
hands.
my hands. So so that was an interesting thing. So do you have any ghost stories for yourself?
Yeah, I don't remember whether I've told it on the podcast though.
Well, tell it and
Did
I'll tell you.
did
I'll cut
did
you
I
off, I
tell
promise.
did I tell you the apartment story in
I
California?
you told me about the
I don't
apartment personally in California and your
right. I don't
buddy.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think I told it on the podcast, did I?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, if
Go.
I did, people are gonna hear it again.
Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, especially if they're not fucking caught up. That's your fucking bad. You get to hear it
Mhm.
twice if you are.
And if you're trying to listen to all these in like a day and a half, like binge listening is a little bit
Yeah,
of a problem.
power listening is what I like to call it.
Oh.
Yeah. So what had happened was we were living in California, obviously, because we were still stationed there, or I was still stationed there. So me and my buddy got this apartment out in town, and it was in San Clemente. It was like a super cool area, right? We were like 5 minutes from the beach, and
Yeah.
we found a pretty decent deal, and it's like two like master bedrooms and stuff, and then the downstairs was all the common areas and stuff. So we're like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. And it's way too expensive. I think it was like $1,600 a month, and we were corporals making like $820 a paycheck.
$1,600 a month.
Yeah. So I was like, split it. So we had no fucking money.
But the best ramen.
Oh, the best ramen. And like we would treat ourselves to pizza and steak on payday.
As you should.
Yeah. So we lived there for a while, and it was like I always thought like his side of the place was kind of creepy. Like, cause just weird shit would happen when he was there by himself. And we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. You fucking got ghosts following you around or something. So Justine was there, and we were sitting there watching like football or something on like a Sunday afternoon. And we hear like his dresser drawers opening and stuff like that, and then his window close or open. I don't remember whether it was open or closed, whatever. We just hear it sliding, right? This big heavy metal windows, because there's no air conditioning, so I had these huge windows in this place. And we're like, oh shit, maybe he's getting ready to go somewhere. And like 2 minutes later, this dude comes busting in the door, like the freaking Kool-Aid guy. And he's like, I got breakfast. And he has like this big bag of freaking McDonald's, like Egg McMuffins and shit. And me and her turn around and we're like, what the fuck? Like, what? Dude, we're like, did you bring home another fat chick? And he's like, no, why? Like, so you didn't bring. He had a thing for fat chicks too.
He was super excited as soon as you said that.
Yeah, no, he grew out of it though.
Oh, good.
But
not good, like, not good, but just he grew up.
Yeah, I mean, he realized that, you know, one day one of them was going to roll over and squash him dead.
Oof.
So, and it's not hog hunting in California; it's whale watching. So,
fair enough.
Anyway, so we turn around and we look at him. We're like, "Holy shit, dude! Like, you didn't leave anybody. Like, you didn't get drunk, and like, there's no chick up there." And he's like, "No, why?" Like, dude, we just heard all your dresser drawers opening. We heard your window like sliding back and forth or whatever. And we thought you were up there just getting ready to leave. And he's like, dude, I've been gone for like half hour, 45 minutes. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking with me? Like, did you like, cause like we used to pull pranks on each other and shit. I'm like, and his window was right over our balcony. So he could have like,
hop down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ninja down. Yeah.
Yeah. He could have totally ninja down and just been fucking with us. Right. So he goes up there and all of his fucking drawers are like all open and like half closed and all fucked up. His window's not where he left it. His bed's all fucked up. And he's like, bro, he's like, everything was shut except for the window or whatever. And I was like, fuck that shit, dude. So we just kind of ate our McMuffins and then pretended like that shit didn't happen. And then
how long till you moved out?
Dude, so that's the funny part. So we moved out and I had weird shit happen in my room like a couple of times where like I had those electric like oscillating fans and one would turn itself off. And I'm like, dude, I've had this fan forever. Like it doesn't just do that, you know, and it made like a beeping noise when it would turn itself off. And Gunny, because I had Gunny would kind of freak out. And there was
start barking at nothing.
There was parts of the apartment that Gunny would not even go into. Like he would run past Chris's room. And like at one point I had to like stand in the hallway so Gunny would like not even be by his door and like shoot down the stairs. And so we moved out in the day after the Marine Corps birthday. So we moved out on the 11th and drove back home. And he stayed there until I think the start of December. And he's like, bro, he's like, I just made the entire front room my house. He's like, I moved all my shit downstairs. He's like, I barely went upstairs after that at all. He's like, and I would hear weird shit while I was downstairs. He's like, so I just turned the TV up. He's like, I'd drink more whiskey and I just passed the fuck out. He was like, fuck that place. He's like, it was worse after you left. He's like, because there was nobody else there. It was just me.
That's fucking terrible, dude. That's awesome. So I have did you ever come over to my house when I was renting that house in Sandy when I was going to school?
I just the townhouse. The townhouse.
Just the townhouse. That was the only one.
Yeah.
All right. So I was renting this place out with I had some roommates and they were terrible people. Be honest with you. Just horrible. Like dude would get drunk and like I would go to the bar and hang out with the friends and then I'd come home and they'd be stupid drunk, like all the way drunk, and they'd be fighting and in a fist fight and cops would come over and they'd be like, what'd you see? And like, well, luckily I didn't see anything because I would have probably shot somebody, but whatever. Here we are. Come home, Monty's hanging out in my bedroom, sitting on my bed, just like, I'm like, well, I walk in. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish that Utah would let me bring dogs to bars because you would be the life of the party. Like, you're the fucking coolest. And he would just like climb up on top of me and hang out and all that shit, right? Until one day, so Monty comes in the bedroom, and I'm like, hey, come up on the bed, get ready for bed. It's like 1:00 in the morning, and he wouldn't get up on the bed, and I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, you got old bones, and that's a hardwood floor, bro. Like, this doesn't add up, right? Whatever. I shut the door. And my bedroom was situated. It was on the back. It was on the back corner of the house, and I had my own freaking master bath and whatnot. And like I had like like the not Bluetooth, but do you remember like the back in the day for all you youngsters that are listening, which is nobody because only our friends and everybody who's over the age of fucking 30 listens to us talk.
Right.
So I had one of the new cool guy speaker systems was also an alarm clock that you could plug your phone into.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know
You set it down and plug in,
uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And like you'd set your iTunes to play or your whatever to play and it would play music or whatever, right? So never set up the alarm, never did anything because my phone had an alarm. Like, why the hell do I want to have a louder alarm?
I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need it louder.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, hop in the shower. I had shut off all the lights and everything, locked the door to my room with the deadbolt, not deadbolt, but the little
slider,
slider thing, right? Because I just didn't trust my roommates. And so I was like, cool, whatever. And so I lock that portion, and I come out of the shower, and all the lights are on in my bedroom, and my music's playing, and my laptop is playing a movie, and I'm like,
damn, Monty, you're just making yourself at home, huh?
I'm like, cool, bro. Like, if you can talk and move, you should interact with me, so that way I have a friend in the world right now. That'd be really cool. Like, all my friends are bar friends. Like, they're not real friends; they're bar friends, right?
Timmy fell down a well.
Right? Exactly. Like, and so I'm like, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. Shut off all the lights. Whatever. Go to bed. Wake up. Look around. Like 4:30, 5:00 in the morning, and it felt like something was touching me, and I thought it was Monty. And I was like it felt like just like fur on my arm, and it woke me up because I sleep super light. Like I can sleep in 2 seconds, but I sleep super light. Like weird sounds happen, I'm up. Usually with a firearm pointed in the direction of wherever those are at. Right. So if you ever stay over at the house, just know like things that go bump in the night get shot. Don't go bump.
Just stay in your room.
Just stay in your room. Yeah.
Bump yourself.
Yeah. Just remember that. Just it's fine. So I'm like, okay, that's fucking weird. So I like sit up and I'm like, okay, well now all of a sudden my adrenaline's running for no reason, and I'm like, okay, well cool. So then I turn on Voodoo on my laptop, and I'm watching Voodoo on my laptop, which is just that streaming service where you can purchase the movie.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, right. And I'm watching this. Dude,
I was like, you probably don't want to do Voodoo then.
Right. So, well, I'm watching Kung Fu Panda. like because that's a fucking comedy, and I'm trying to laugh.
You're a grown ass man watching cartoons.
Doesn't even fucking matter. Kung Fu Panda and Jack Black is amazing. So I'm sitting there watching it, right? And all of a sudden, I'm not even touching anything. I'm just like, it's downloaded to my computer. And not touching anything, not connected to the Wi-Fi anything. My computer screen says, fuck you, nope. And it switches over to Fury with Brad Pitt.
It's an odd choice.
And I'm like, cool, I guess we'll watch Tank Commander Brad Pitt. That's fine. Totally cool.
Whatever.
All right, so here we are. And then it switches again back to Kung Fu Panda. And I was like, oh, there's a fucking glitch on my computer. I better fucking like clear my computer from my my deployment life.
Fucking LimeWire.
Whatever, right?
LimeWire.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So close my computer. I'm done. Whatever. I'm like literally not at the time, not really thinking of anything. I'm not rehashing like ghosts walking away through Quonset huts and shit.
Right.
I'm like, whatever, dude. Like that's a once in a lifetime thing. So I said earlier, I have like 3 main paranormal things, and this is just one of those like ancillary things, which I also almost feel like that entity had followed me at this point because it looked like a little girl. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I close it, go to bed, wake up, and I wake up. And when I wake up, like for whatever reason, all the lights are on in my room, and I'm like, I have the lights on. I didn't go to bed with the lights on, and I sure as fuck didn't have one of my flashbacks. I have the weirdest flashbacks, by the way. They're fucking comedy. But like I didn't have any reason to get up. I didn't feel any weirdness and nothing. And when I wake up, Monty's like on top of me, like looking around, and I'm like, okay, you're fucking making it worse. Also, you're really fucking heavy. He's like a 95-pound dog. I'm like, get the fuck off me, right? I gotta get to work, get ready for work. So I get up and get ready for work, come home, and I come back into my room, and one of my roommates, was sitting there, and she's like, you need to turn your music down. I'm like, turn my music down? What are you talking about? My phone's right here. Like, it's not even on. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, your music has been blaring all day long. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there is no
there's
there's nothing going on. She's like, I'm tired of hearing Johnny Cash. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I really am not listening to Johnny Cash. Like, there's nothing going on. Like, so I brought her in my room, then nothing was connected. I was like, where's the music coming from? She's like, I keep hearing it all day long. I'm like, oh, okay, weird, right? So I go to bed that night. And I'm like, whatever. Go to bed. Actually, after we went to school, and then I go to bed, right? So there was another bar involved.
Right.
Right. And so come home, go to bed. Monty again won't get on the bed. He's like cowering kind of in the corner, which is weird because if you've ever met Monty, he's like the most loving and outgoing dog you'll ever meet. He'll just come up and like fucking like climb on you and love you. Anyway, so I'm like, whatever. I'm like super exhausted, tired, right? Phone's in my pocket, like kick off my shoes, fall asleep in my clothes, just done. Because just done for the day, right? Like 3:30 in the morning, all of the lights turn on and music starts playing as Johnny Cash. Through my speakers, which are not Bluetooth connected because like I didn't have Bluetooth, I still had the fucking plug-in piece.
Right.
The analog. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, so I'm like, okay, cool. You want to watch a show? I literally just like, listen, I gotta get some sleep. I'm talking to the ghost. I don't know who the fuck this ghost is. Here you go. So there's a show called Despicable Me. You've never watched it because you don't have a heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
I know. I've seen it now. At this point, okay. I have seen it.
So being a dad of 3 daughters that kind of are a single dad, the daughters are kind of taken away from him and shit like that, right? Like that show hits real home to me, like real hardcore home to me. And so like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I just open up my computer and I set it like facing away from me because I'm like, I don't want to fucking see whatever's watching. It doesn't need to sit on my bed. It can just watch over there on the corner, whatever. I had a nightstand, I put it on the nightstand facing away. I'm just like, pick a movie, watch a movie. I'm going to bed. Leave me alone. Like I'm at that point of like delirium. And sure as shit, fucking Despicable Me starts playing on my fucking video, and I'm like, could you pick a different movie? Like, I can't watch that show. I'm like, it's like I'm not with my daughters. I don't get to see them. And like it listened, and it put like uh um Dracula Untold on,
That's crazy.
and I was just like, cool. I'm like, and so like I had like this full on conversation with it in the morning. Like I woke up and I was getting ready for work, and I'm like, hey, listen, okay, I need you to do me a favor. Like, I don't care if you're here. You can bug me at night. If you want to watch the laptop, just turn on the bathroom light and I'll turn it on for you. It's not a big deal. This went on for like a month and a half, by the way. 3:30 in the morning, bathroom light would turn on. I'd wake up. Okay, cool. I'd open up the laptop, turn on the power. It would just play random fucking movies, dude.
Weirdest shit ever.
Never again did Despicable Me happen. And I was like, hey, you got to be respectful of our roommates. Like, speaking in this like weird kind of like way, right?
Uh-huh.
This is where the shit gets really fucking weird. So, not that that's not really fucking weird.
Yeah,
I don't
think we've hit the weird level for sure.
I was just sitting there and I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. Not a big deal. Like, this ghost is just a little kid. It just wants to watch cartoons and it doesn't want to go to bed because something's scaring it. Not a big deal. So I'm working and I have to do an interview. I'm a lead recruiter and I have to do an interview for somebody new on my team. Her name is Cassandra. So Cassandra is a medium. Now, I don't believe in mediums. I barely believed in ghosts at the time. Like, I'm just kind of like working through those emotions as I'm like going to work every day. And my buddies would be like, hey, how was your day last night? I'm like, I didn't get any sleep. They're like, you got to stop partying. I'm like, fuck, dude, I wish I was partying. I have a fucking like 6-year-old ghost hanging out with me. Whatever, dude. Totally fine. Comfortable enough to fucking listen to me and not bug my roommates during the day. Like, I would even leave my laptop open so it could watch movies during the day and just kept it plugged in. I'd come home.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, like I was just like, just don't piss off the roommates. They're annoying enough as it is, right? Anyway, so this medium comes to work and she's like, starts talking to me and like I hire her and she's doing a really good job as a recruiter. We go to lunch one day and she's like, can I tell you something? And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm a medium. And I was like,
you're like a medium.
I'm a medium
too. Pants or
I like medium. I shop at the Baby Gap. It's fine.
Or like a 5. Like,
yeah,
like a 5.
Yeah, like right in the middle, right? And she's like, no. I speak to dead people. And I'm like, neat. And she's like, you have a very young aura following you. And I'm like, please stop making this weirder than it already is for me, okay? Like, I have no response at this point. Like, what do you say at that point? Like, some person that you've never told anything to about, right? And she's like, I feel like it's a little girl spirit, and she really likes you because you're a protector, and there's something else that's following her, and she holds on to you because that thing won't come in the room when you're around. And I'm like, cool. And I'm getting chills, by the way.
Yeah, I just got chills too. That's right.
Yeah, it's fucking. And so she's like, this little girl had some trauma. She's wearing like a white kind of tank top and she's got black hair. And I was like, now all of a sudden I flash back to Kwanzaa Hut girl walking through the fucking Kwanzaa Hut. White.
I just got chills.
Right? Right.
Shit.
So now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, fucking weird, right? But I didn't see what the girl was wearing. I just knew there was a girl with her face and the long black hair that I talked about on the last episode. And I'm like, okay, this is fucking too much, right? I'm like, can you ask her what she needs so she can move on? Like, I don't know what else to do because like I just need to get sleep. I'm actually getting really tired, like just constantly tired. And she's like, I'll see if I can come to your house and we can talk to see if we can talk to it. So she comes to the house, walks in the front door. Negative energy blast smashes her. And she's like, I don't feel safe right here. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I live here. It's not a big deal. I'm like, is it me? Is it like, am I like off-putting? Is it my shitty roommates? What's going on?
I told you I was a medium.
Yeah, she's like, and so she's like, she comes in, she's like, this area, there was some violence that happened in the past here, blah, 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 this, that, the other. And I'm like, okay, that's terrible. And then she goes into the room. She's like, this spirit doesn't belong here. This spirit followed you from somewhere. And I'm like, and again, chills. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, this spirit and that spirit don't get along because this spirit's a happy spirit and likes to play games and prank you because she thinks of you as a father figure and a protector. And that spirit is intimidated by you and doesn't want to come around you and wants to make your life miserable. So that spirit is kind of a prankster. And then she starts going down this fucking crazy path. And I'm like, hey, I don't have enough alcohol or weed in my life.
What do we gotta do?
What, like, she's like, we should do a cleansing, but we can't cleanse your room because we got to protect the happy spirit. I'm like, how do you cleanse blah 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 blah? She's like, well, she's like, people will always tell you white sage or this or that or whatever. And I'm like, okay, so is that what we do? She's like, no, we need some Palo Santo. I'm like,
The fuck is that?
so it's a wood. And you have to fucking like swirl it around you in a clockwise manner, and you have to do this thing around the doors, and you speak to the spirits or something. And look, dude, I'm not gonna like bash it or anything else like that. But the thing is like she did that shit and shit mellowed the fuck out, right?
So if it worked, right?
Well, I mean, whatever. I moved out like 3 months later because I just got tired of my roommates. I could deal with ghosts, but fucking people are stupid. So we're sitting there and all this stuff, and then my daughters come visit, and my daughters have 2 bedrooms, right? So my 2 youngest daughters are sharing a bunk bed, and their door in their room, they talk about like a little girl who's playing with them and stuff, and my daughters are like, I don't know, 5 and I'm trying to do math right now, 5 and 10, right? And then my older daughter's 12, right? Or something along those lines. It might have been, I got the ages wrong, but my 2 of my daughters were like, yeah, well, there's a little girl who was in here last night. And I was like, okay, no, they're like, they said stuff like, yeah, there was a little girl in here and then she was playing, she was doing makeup. And I was like, cool, did you guys kick her out? Like there's no little girls should be coming in your room. They're like, no, no, we just let her do her thing, went back to bed. We never saw her leave. And I was like, okay, cool. That was the
Alrighty then.
that was the end of it. I haven't seen the little girl for a while, but right? There's an apparently on the TikTok app, there's some sort of thing where you can take a picture of the room, and
Mm-hmm.
if there's anything in there, there'll be an anime figure, right?
Uh-huh.
So Allie moves in, and she's like, "Dad, did you know there's like a presence here?" I'm like, "No, I didn't know there's a fucking presence here." So upstairs, like where my captain's chair is in the main room,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the staircase that you came up in when we were doing the meetup
Yeah, yeah.
video, right? So she took a picture of me, and right behind that area where the door is, and there was a little girl with a white tank top, with black hair, standing there looking down the stairs.
Uh yeah, I'm never going to your house again.
No, she's super sweet. She doesn't do anything. I think she plays with the dogs when I'm gone. That's my
That's
paranormal stuff. I think it's the
that's
same
weird.
ghost. It's the same ghost, dude.
That's
Hanging out
so
with me.
odd.
I mean, it
Huh.
makes me feel good because maybe I'm a protector, but like I don't feel like I'm like that cool. I'm not transcending.
Well, I hope she's having fun with the dogs then, because there's plenty of dogs to play with.
Absolutely. And the Falcon. Hopefully she's like mellowed fucking
And the
dickhead out.
falcon. Yeah, she could probably teach the falcon a thing or two.
One or two. At least that'd be nice. That'd be cool. But like sometimes the dogs will all of them will just kind of go and they'll stare down the stairs or they'll stare into the corner all together, all three of them, just lined up and wag their tails. And
Huh.
even my dog Freya, who's schizophrenic, is what I call her.
Yes.
And she'll just like big old grin and just like looking and whatever. No barking, no nothing. They don't growl, they don't do anything. I'm like, okay, well, cool. Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
Whatever. It's a big house to hang out in.
Yeah, like just cool. No lights turn on for no reason. No TVs. I think I don't know. I think she's got enough to do. It's cool.
Yeah. She go like
Whatever.
fishing or hiking or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, she probably just sits out and drinks coffee, ghost coffee, and looks at the fucking beautiful view that we have, which is most
Yeah,
epic. One of the top
yeah,
5 views I've ever seen in my life.
it's not bad.
So,
Amongst
so those are paranormal for both of us.
Yeah, no, I have that one kind of reminded me of one that I have in Okinawa, but I think we'll probably have to save it for next time.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I mean, the paranormal activity thing is a long-term thing. We do actually need to introduce a couple people who will be coming on soon. So we got the boat. He's going to run a conspiracy segment. We talked about it.
We did talk about that.
Yeah. So that's going to come down the pipe hopefully sooner than later. We just got to figure out the technology piece. And then we also have got Ryan's Rants. I can't wait for Ryan's Rants. I can't wait
Yeah,
for you all
I'm
to be
excited.
introduced to the fuckery that we deal with on a daily basis in such
We
a fun way.
we should bring up the side by side.
Every time I will.
Yeah.
It's called a thermal event, by the way. Just
Oh,
saying.
it's a thermal event. It was probably because of like global warming and stuff.
Something. Um,
The
more
sand
important,
was too hot for his Polaris.
yeah. I mean, thermal events do happen in the overall scheme of things for the globe.
So Fred's house was a thermal event then too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both
They're the
of them.
same. And
Yeah.
they're both crotchety as shit.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
maybe it's the crotchetiness that brings on the thermal events.
It's just the friction
Oh
that
yeah.
starts the fire,
Yeah, that's what it is.
and we don't need no water.
No, let that motherfucker burn.
Burn, motherfucker, burn. um, so the world goes in cycles, and apparently we don't watch shows as scientists that bring back Jurassic Park. Did you hear this? I think we did talk about this, but just so everybody knows, um, I think like 5 years ago they found a frozen woolly mammoth somewhere in, I think it was Russia or somewhere along the lines.
I think it was just in the Arctic.
Yeah, I mean that's Russia.
Well, I mean, we have a nice portion of it too.
It's probably Canadian. So it's gonna say,
Could have
yeah,
been the
hoser.
Canadians.
He had a hose for a
It's a,
nose, so he's
it's
like,
a,
oh, he's the original hoser.
it's
Hey,
America's hat.
fair enough. Um, ma'am.
Man. But so that mammoth, I think that you're talking about, the crazy part about that was that it was like flash frozen. Like
Yeah,
it
it
still
was
had food in its mouth.
right, and
Like,
it had living DNA still. The
yeah,
DNA was alive.
do you remember the show The
Captain
Day After
America.
Tomorrow?
Oh yeah,
No,
there's that
no,
too.
fuck that show. Anyway, Batman.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not even the
Batman.
same person.
I know Batman's better. Anyway,
I thought you're terrible.
I
Iron
need to
Man.
figure out a way to kill him. All of them.
Iron
Anyway,
Man.
so yeah, he'd die too.
Fucking nerd.
Anyway, yeah, that movie. You know how the scene in the movie where once the eye of the storm was over, it was like flash freezing everything unless there was like some significant heat source to offset it, right?
Right.
Remember, it almost like froze the kids in the library.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that would have had to have happened, like immediately. No, no signs or anything.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's weird about that, right? So biologically, the direct descendant or the closest descendant to a woolly mammoth is an Indian elephant,
Yeah.
which is interesting because Indian elephants are smaller than an African elephant.
Well, woolly mammoths were smaller than African elephants.
I don't think so.
I think they are.
I think they're bigger.
I don't
Back
think they
then
are.
we did like back then anatomy was doing it the easy way by going big.
Well, like there was like a mastodon, right? And then there was a woolly mammoth.
I thought a mastodon was just a bull woolly mammoth.
No, I think they're different, dude.
Okay,
I'm
well
going to the
let's.
Google.
Okay, you
Yeah,
go to the Google. All
I'm
right,
gonna do the Google.
okay, so I'm gonna finish up. So here's the thing. This year in January, scientists thought that would be a great idea to take and create an embryo from that DNA and implant it or inseminate an Indian elephant.
Yeah, say it again.
Yeah, inseminate. I'll say it slower for the
Oh,
it was
yeah.
super moist when they inseminated it.
Damn.
So they inseminated this Indian elephant in January. An Indian elephant's gestation period is 24 months. So Jurassic Park is coming to a continent near you 2024 sometime.
So, is he going to be born with like all the hair, or is it just going to be like an elephant?
This is the first time that I know about any of this, so I don't know. All I know, and this is according to South Park, is that a pig and an elephant's DNA just won't splice.
Man bear pig is real.
Man bear pig is real. It could be
Man bear pig is real.
man bear pig.
Ask what's his name? Al Gore. He knows.
Nope, no, I don't talk to people like that.
Man bear pig is real.
Yeah. So,
So
what's the difference? Mastodon versus woolly mammoth.
a mastodon. I was wrong. Mastodon is actually the shorter and stockier one. And then the mammoths have straighter tusks, and they're bigger.
Oh. By the way, just so everybody knows, the not drinking thing that I was trying to do, it did not last for more than 3 days because society sucks. So here I am.
Yeah.
I actually drank tequila and pineapple juice tonight, which was actually super good.
And what the fuck do you have in your hand right now?
It was the only beer I had left in my house. It's either this or
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, this is for when Ryan comes up. I'm like, what the
Oh.
fuck? And the only other beers that I have are also for Ryan when he comes up. So I had the choice of a Michelob Ultra or one of those
Or an IPA.
super skunky fucking juicy IPAs, and I can't do my life like that, man.
That's how he keeps that juicy ass. Is those juicy IPAs.
Fucking something, man. He ain't doing squat. So, here's the thing. We have coming upon us the real life Jurassic Park.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can call me out phrasing. We need to put this soundboard. Hey, phrasing.
Phrasing.
So we have the new dawn of the woolly mammoth, which, by the way, is either going to go super cool, but most likely going to go super terrible.
Well, I mean, they've been cloning humans since like the 60s, right?
Yao Ming. Yep.
I mean, was he a clone of what? Yao Ming? What?
That's a segue for our next piece that we're going to talk about in the Jarl's wild card. But definitely he's a baby giant.
Oh, I mean like cloning. Like
I know, but he was obviously like he is the tallest person in the history of China.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He's not only cloned, but they genetically altered his DNA so that way he could be a giant, like a true giant.
He wasn't a small man, or isn't a small man. He's not.
Maybe
dead.
what? We don't know. He's in China.
Yeah. No, I think he lives here now.
My turn.
Why would he go back? Anyway, so I don't think that it's going to be nearly as intense as people think it is. So
it's not going to be. It's not going to be intense. You can't get a tent that big.
I mean, it's definitely going to be born in a tent, for sure.
Maybe. I think it's
like
going to be
circus
born
tent.
A Quonset hut.
I wonder if it's going to have like 3 eyes, like 1 tusk, and be half bald, or like have male pattern balding on the top.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
What if it has male pattern balding on its ass, and it's a 5-ass monkey?
Right, and then it has dreads down the side.
Stub your pinky toe really fucking hard. Stub your fucking pinky toe all the way hard. There's 2 things that are happening tonight. 1, we're going to end the podcast, and 2, you're going to actually get fucked all the way on your toe.
Oh, we're going to fight on the weekend. What is it? Thursday? Thursday in a week. 8
Thursday.
days.
Fucking 7 days in a wake up.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's prepared for the jackassery we're bringing to Texas.
Oh, yeah. We're bringing the heat.
What was I Googling?
You were going to
Yao Ming. Yao Ming's location.
Yeah. His location. I wonder if he has his location services turned on his phone so we can find out exactly where he is.
Well, I mean, that's how you survive that. So he was born in. Oh, dude, he's only 2 years older than me. Fuck that. I'm old.
Yeah, he's already had a fucking basketball career, retired.
Huh.
You're old as fuck.
I'm medium. So this says that he has a home in China and in America. So who knows? He's probably trapped there. He's 7'6" though.
He's probably got a solid social credit, though.
I mean, if China kills him, then we'll know.
Yeah, I mean, he's like their hero, right?
Yeah, dude, for real. Like, and by the way, he's one of the nicest people ever. I've met him.
Have you?
Yeah, his hand is like the size of my arm. Like him and Karl Malone. That when I shook both of their hands, their hand like went all the way up to my wrist. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Carmel's a big.
giant. He's
I
a
remember
big motherfucker.
I met Thurl Bailey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and dude, that guy's hands were massive,
Dude, he sat
and
in
he
front.
was so tall.
Dude, he sat in front of us when my mom and dad were dating at Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and my mom was bitching the whole time in the movie theater because she couldn't see. It was fucking hilarious. She was like, "I wish that I would have been able to see. I wish that this person would have sat in behind us or whatever, being a total Karen." I love this, by the way. This is a fucking comedy story. So we get up and we're leaving the movie theater, and he stands up and he says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. Next time I'll sit at the back of the movie theater." And I'm like, and my mom's like, "Oh my God, Thurl Bailey, I'm so sorry."
On so many different levels.
And if you ever meet my mom, like she gets in these repeater modes where she just focuses on this thing, and it doesn't ever go away. Shut up.
Huh.
Accurate though. So much.
Does your mom listen to the podcast? I hope she does.
No, she doesn't like to listen to me talk too.
I'm sending her this one.
Perfect.
That's
so but yeah, it was funny as shit because the whole time, and she's like, "I just came to see was it Dan Aykroyd?" It is Dan Aykroyd, right? And
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
No, it's
Andy Googler.
What's his name from that other one? It's like the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Who retired from movies.
That's super helpful.
Yeah, he like went on to just be a regular dude. And he was in the Star Wars spoof.
Yeah, you're talking about Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, yeah, Spaceballs.
Where's the IMDb link at? Really? Fuck off. Oh, that's a TV series? There's a TV series? That's gross. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, dude. Wikipedia. It's. I don't think Dan Aykroyd's in that one.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Yeah.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
You're
a really slow Googler.
I don't drink tequila normally, so this is new. Okay.
Yeah. Bill, I didn't even realize that Bill Pullman was in Spaceballs until just now.
Oh.
And today we celebrate our independence. Best presidential speech ever given, and it was in a movie.
Why can't those movies come true?
Right? Where we like beat the aliens twice.
Well, yeah.
Have you seen the second one?
Yes, just as good as the first one.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great. But no, we have to go down the, hey, we're bringing an end to humanity, like consistently.
Right.
Outbreak.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta. And now we're at fucking Jurassic Park. Like, guys, pick a fucking genre. It's not that. Oh, we're also almost on the way to Terminator.
Oh, yeah. No, like, so I saw what you were saying about the whole Matrix and the Terminator movies being before and after. Yeah. I saw, like, the whole comprehensive theory about that. And
did your mind just fucking melt?
Yeah, and it made way more sense when they told it versus what you told me last week.
High level guy.
Right. Very high. That was a 30,000 foot view for sure.
It was 60,000.
It was probably as high as the Chinese balloon.
Yeah, something. No, that was only like
50 or 60,000. No, I think it was up there, dude. I think it was up there. It had 22 to shoot it down, right?
I had so many people like, why didn't you just take your 300 win Ultra Mag out there and shoot it? And I was like, well, one, it's like $1.80 a round.
It's not
And
worth a Chinese balloon.
no, man, fuck it,
Uh,
whatever. They already have
uh,
spy satellites. I don't give a fuck.
and freedom only costs $1.05.
It's true. We're doing a lot of fucking great references tonight. And if you guys aren't
Yeah.
fucking writing them down, you should write that down.
Yeah, write it down.
All
So
right. So go ahead. I'm
riddle
just
me this,
gonna toss it
Batman.
over. I'm gonna no. I'll
Yeah,
just
no,
toss this over to you.
no, I'm giving you a riddle first.
No. Riddle you this, Batman.
I've seen videos of a balloon getting shot down over Montana, and then the news is reporting that one got shot down over like South Carolina. So was there like two over the continental United States?
Dude, listen, here's the thing, right? So there's probably been like 45 of them, and we just got the one or whatever.
I'm
I didn't
just
see it.
saying,
They
like,
closed down the Billings airport, which I didn't know because I don't actually give a shit or go to Billings unless I have to because I don't like society. And they were like, "Oh, the balloon's floating through," and like I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. What are you talking about?" And my buddy's like, "Oh, it's somewhere over Montana, and it's literally over like my house."
yeah. But I saw a video that I've seen a bunch of videos that have been posted from like the Billings area and Montana, like of a jet shooting this balloon down. And then you read on the news that a balloon got shot down over like the East Coast. Like, I don't understand.
I saw videos of them pulling said balloon out of the water. Also, when they shot it, there was like fucking all that white shit that went into the air. Because like everyone's like, "Oh, they used their missile
It's
on
totally
there."
anthrax.
Something dumb. I'm sure it's the latest variant of
It's all
whatever
right.
dumb
We've been
fucking
shot up
thing.
with enough. We're fine.
Yeah.
Most of Montana's veterans, except for the Californians, so you guys will be fine.
And even then, they're running away from California. So they're
Is
probably
it
veterans too.
right?
They
Right.
just forgot what freedom tasted like.
How many Chinese balloons, spy balloons are there? There's a fucking page dedicated to it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's so bad. I want to digress from the recent events because mostly they're just dumb. And if this is where we're at, we're totally living in a simulation.
I'm having so much fun in this simulation.
Bro, I just want to. Okay, so let's link it. Let's just link the two. We have
Okay.
Chinese balloons conspiracy theory.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not trying to step on boats thing here. But
Right.
let's talk about the cover up that happened in Afghanistan in Jalalabad.
Right. So
That
we're going back.
you sent me two videos this week about this.
Right.
We've already talked about giants. So I talked about the dude who who got unalived.
Yeah.
As they say these days, because apparently if you say dead, then you get canceled. But
No,
whatever.
you just have to spell it DED.
Oh, okay, cool. With a
Dead.
skull and crossbones.
DED, dead.
Dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So talk to me about the giant of Kandahar.
So
High level view.
Yeah, we talked about it where special forces went in, a unit was lost. They sent another special forces unit in, found a bunch of pieces of equipment, gear, body parts, things like that. Smelled a terrible smell. Saw a big red-headed fuck with six fingers and six toes on each hand and foot, Went in, it took a whole unit to kill him. And then they had to get a heavy in there to lift him out. Okay, so flash forward to the story that I sent you. The story that I sent you was about a guy who was there. He was in the Army. He was at JBAD, stationed at JBAD. They went out. They jumped on a helo, went in, and their job was to secure the area and make sure the area was all clear for the heavy to come in and lift out whatever the hell went down there. So long story short, old boy went in and they found out, or the heavies came in and there was nothing around to be secured. Okay, so they're looking out for the enemy. There's no enemy, but they're putting body bags on the heavy, and then they take the biggest body bag he said they'd ever seen, and it took 14 guys, 7 on each side, to lift this thing into the helo and then take off with it.
They're saying that it was, according to the Googles, that it was between 13 and 18 foot tall, had flaming red hair, six fingers on each hand, and 2 sets of teeth.
Yeah, and 6 toes on each foot.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, roll over to DuckDuckGo and you'll get a whole bunch more stories about it.
Oh, anyway, that's actually only way I Google, by the way.
Yeah. So the thing is now that, and the part of the story that I didn't even send you, this is part of like the conspiracy stuff, is there's a whole group of people that think that the whole reason why we went into Iraq was because of giants, and went into Afghanistan because of giants, because we were trying to harvest the DNA.
Here's the biggest thing when we talk about conspiracy theories, right? To add on to what you're saying there, the biggest thing that I always look at with paranormal activity is, can you draw conclusions or links to the past, right? So if the past is there, then it's plausible that it's possibly still here today. Like documented past pieces, right? So
Right.
Throughout all of time, there's always pictures of big hairy men, which we've talked about with Bigfoot. But there's also other photos or pictures that are depicted, and even in for those that believe in the Bible, there's pictures or the documents of stories, David versus Goliath, right? And then you also have, like, in my belief system, which is there's the frost giants, and there's giants, and the gods battle them, and throughout all of time, there's always been giants, right? Which are considered they're apparently offspring of the fallen, whatever that means.
Yeah,
right?
the fallen.
Yeah, whatever that is.
The Book of Enoch, man. It's the angels that got kicked out.
Right, exactly.
Or the Watchers, the fallen.
Whatever you want to call it, right? So here's the thing. How can you correlate that with America versus what happened in the past? Well, we do know, and I'm not trying to draw a correlation between America and Hitler and the Nazis, but we do know this. Every single major government throughout all of time has always seeked out information on the paranormal, whether it be the English and their incursions and their run down into the Holy Lands to battle for the Holy Lands to seek those pieces out, right? Or it be the Mongols battling and trying to battle into China to take the holy places where things were that were paranormal there that they were trying to reconquer or take over, right? So on and so forth throughout all time. But we do know for a fact that Hitler had an entire division dedicated to paranormal activity, in which they believe that Hitler actually found the Spear of Destiny, like this, right?
Well, and like they had, I forget the name of the castle, but they had a whole castle that they basically used for like their dark rituals and stuff like that,
right?
And I think that a lot of the inspiration for them going into Northern Africa and
the Ark
was
of the Covenant.
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant, and trying to dig up stuff there. So and I've read a lot of weird shit too about Dr. Hawass, the guy that you always see on TV, the older guy that is always talking about Egypt and everything like that.
The guy who keeps covering shit up left and right.
Yeah, that his entire job as the antiquities director, chief, whatever, HMFIC of antiquities, is to just cover everything up and to make sure that everything's redirected and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I agree that he's just a big cover-up artist too. Like, I've seen a whole lot of stuff and read a whole lot of stuff about that, because that's just, I totally geek out about it, right?
Yeah.
And I think if he was and he gets really pissed if you don't follow his rules to down to the exact, T crossed and I dotted, that in a lot of these archaeologists have been kicked out of Egypt or not allowed to go in and do stuff in Egypt. Just like the archaeologists that just put that show out on Netflix.
Oh no, so that is not an archaeologist. So he claims
Or
but he studies humanity.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
But
the
still,
core,
he painted it in a different light,
yeah,
so
which
they kicked him out
challenges,
of Egypt.
yeah, absolutely, it challenges science, right? So here's the thing. So when you start looking at like governments of the past, good or bad, doesn't matter. All governments have a paranormal piece, right? We do know that there is a paranormal side to our federal government, right? And we
Mm-hmm.
do know that the MI6 has one as well, or or not MI6, but the English government has one. We do know the Canadians have one. We do know these things, right? They're known facts now. Like with the classified documents and this and that and everything else,
Yeah.
right? And Russia's been chasing this shit for years, right? It's a thing. So it doesn't it doesn't put it past me that now we're starting to see these things awaken for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
which will kind of segue into next week's podcast, but um, called The Awakening.
Oh, dun dun
Oh,
dun.
foreshadow.
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 Yes.
Uh, so the awakening of these things, right? And the thing that's crazy to me is it doesn't even shock me anymore when I hear about some fucking shady shit a government is doing. It just doesn't even shock me. Like
No,
it's
and if we weren't like as conspiracy theorists, right? If we weren't shooting like 10 for 10 right now, I'd be like, yeah, we're a bunch of fucking nut jobs. But on this far out shit, like we're shooting 10 for 10 on stuff that was like, no, that could never happen, right?
Oh yeah, like
And
UFOs. People are like, "Oh, UFOs don't exist." Oh
oh,
wait, by the way,
oh, wait a second.
they
Yeah,
declassified all the UFO documents.
yeah.
Not all of them, but
Yeah,
enough,
ask
right?
Commander Favors, he'll tell you.
Yeah. It's
So
just it's crazy.
there's a really dope podcast that I listen to that's called Troubled Minds.
We should ask them to join us.
No, we should. We totally should. And his name, he does a radio show and the podcast. So it's like part of it's on the radio, and then part of it you can call in and you can ask questions and talk, and you get on live, right?
Hmm.
The guy's name he goes by Michael Strange, right? But he'll take any of those out there theories and he'll just have people talk about it. He'll talk about it, have people talk about it, call in, comment, do cool shit, right? It's really cool and it's super innovative, right? It started out with like 5 people listening to it, I swear to God. And I got absolutely smashed one night playing video games and I was just looking for shit and I saw it live, right? So I clicked on it and I was like, "Oh, this is right up my freaking alley," you know?
Hmm.
Called in, absolutely shit housed. And started telling him about like some of the spaceships and shit like that, and he's like, okay, he's like, I get it, he's like, I totally think it's true, like starts
Yeah.
going on about it, total badass. And now he's got like this huge following and the radio show and all that stuff, but super cool podcast. And he talks about all these out there theories and stuff,
Let me
but
um
I
let
think a
me
lot of
uh
it's true.
let me just jump in real quick here with this. My favorite part about this podcast is that now, no matter what happens in our lifetime, nobody can ever ask us to run for office. Thank God.
No, but
Yeah,
if
we're
they
fucked.
do, shit's on.
Don't ask me to run for office because I
It
don't
is
like
on.
humanity that much. I'll just be like, this is exactly how that will go. Everything's open to the public. Fuck off. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, I fucked up a lot in my life. Cool. Good
No,
story.
it'll. I'll
I would,
I'll get dead.
yeah, we'll get dead way before then. So, all right. So we got the foreshadow. But what I'd like everybody to look up is the giant crater of a crack that just ripped through Johannesburg, where I'm going in May. There is a giant crack that just happened about 3 weeks ago that happened in Johannesburg. And it is so big that they believe it will possibly, if, at the way it's going and the rate it's growing, that it will separate South Africa from main Africa on the continental divide. like on a continental level.
So is it like what's the fault in California?
The San Andreas.
A San Andreas is it like the San
They
Andreas fault?
didn't even know it was there.
Well, we didn't know about San Andreas until
But this is
the San Francisco earthquake.
So this is like miles deep already.
Right. That's what
San
I'm saying.
Andreas, but like the San Andreas fault, you can see it, right, where it kind of sheared a little bit, right? But this is
now you can. But like, what was it, like 1909 or 1912? San Francisco earthquake.
Okay, but like rewind geometric geology, right? They didn't know what they didn't know then, right?
Right.
And so they've been doing geological studies across the world to identify it. They have all the what they know to be plates, right? The tectonic plates identified.
Tectonic, yeah.
But it's
they're fucking wrong. They don't fucking know about that shit. Like,
it's fine with me.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like it's all bullshit.
I mean, it's science, right? So, 1,000 years ago, the Earth was flat. 1,800 years ago or whatever it was. I don't even know. Like 500 years ago, whenever fucking Isaac Newton was around, we didn't know about gravity, right? Like all that shit. Like the 1400s, 1500s. That's when Isaac Newton was around, right? I want us to assume. Maybe before then. I don't know.
So was it a crater or a crack? I'm very confused.
It's a crack.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so let's put a pin in that for next week. We're running short on time. We've got to do some recaps here. So
we got recaps.
Well, I just got to do a recap of what we talked about. That makes sense.
Oh, we're recapping. Okay.
Yeah. So
we're gonna do that whole thing.
Well, I'm just not gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna 60,000 foot view this.
Oh, like a Chinese balloon.
There's like 45,000, but yeah, maybe 30. We'll see. Whatever. Yeah, full circle. All right.
It's a sea level now.
So recap. Upcoming meetup. If you're in Texas, Dallas, Texas, we're going to be meeting on the 17th, 7 p.m. at the Southern Junction Steakhouse in Dallas, around Dallas. I'm not familiar with the area, so it's there. We're going to be there. Cool. 5 keys to Viko's challenge. Like, comment, subscribe, right? Share it on your page. Tag the Bearded Viking and a friend. And you have a chance to win one of those dope hoodies that the Jarl is wearing right there. It's like being wrapped in a DD-214, and if you're a civilian, it's like being wrapped in the Constitution.
Oh, speaking about this stuff, I have a special something that's going to be live soon.
Oh, okay.
And
oh, look at that. Yeah. That's Tito. That's Tito's. He always leaves his shit behind.
Sure. I don't think Tito took his this time. I don't know who this is. A unspecified human being, but yeah, that's so coming at you soon, folks.
A BVMC flask, which will also be live on our page within that. Whoa, where'd you go? There we go. There we go. So the BVMC flask coming live as well as our webpage. Oh, there's even a pour spout. That's dope.
With a funnel.
Awesome. We spoke a little bit more about our paranormal piece, which will be going on. We really are going to run out of stories here because I only have one other story, but we have to do. You got to stop the crinkling, bud.
Sorry, there's so much paper. There's so much paper. I didn't know it was in there.
Sorry for that, listeners. We have to call each other out on the dumb things we do on this because we don't know how to podcast.
It's still a really weird thing, guys.
Super fucking.
You guys
weird
get
thing.
to hear.
Yeah. So we've got the carry on of the paranormal activities. So please tell us your stories. We want to hear them. Tell them. Like reach out to us. Right?
Yeah.
Like
I want to hear cool shit.
Yeah, I want to hear your stories.
I love cool shit. Like this is that one time where you don't have to worry about being that guy that's telling the story. That's like the one upper. Like we want to hear the story.
Yeah, absolutely we do.
One up us. For sure.
Dude, for real, I want to get chills like we got tonight and last weekend.
Yeah.
Or last week. We've got the woolly mammoth or Jurassic Park real 0.0.
I don't know if we can call it Jurassic Park. I think it's just more like a zoo attraction because there's no dinosaurs yet.
Okay, give it time. We
We'll
also
call it
have,
Ice Age. Ice Age. It's the new Ice
oh,
Age.
the new. Okay.
Like
Okay.
the, you know.
I'm
All right.
on board. Let's go. Let's roll
All
with
right.
it.
The Ice
All right,
Age.
cool.
Okay, cool.
If that woolly mammoth's name is not Manny, then I can't fucking be behind it.
I'm fucking out.
I'm out.
I'm fucking
Can't
out.
be.
Yep.
I'm fucking out. Yep.
Fuck that elephant.
Fucking hairy elephant. Get a fucking haircut.
Right? Shabby fuck.
Fucking Monday.
It's gonna be
I
like the
expect
ugly
a
duckling.
high and tight.
The other elephants aren't going to accept him into the elephant
It's gonna
pack.
be really weird. Super fucking weird. All right. Anyway, so we had the Jarl's wild card today as well, which we spoke about the Giant of Kandahar. We're gonna expand upon that next week. We just had a lot that we're going on this week, and we just want to do a real quick wrap up for all of our sponsors. So as always, we're sponsored by the Bearded Viking. Thanks for allowing us to do this stuff and give back to our community. It's important for that. It's not just mead; it's mead, apparel, events, one day distillery. Foreshadowing.
Most importantly, brotherhood.
Brotherhood, absolutely. I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. Huge shout out to all of our meatheads and mead maidens for being part of this. That is the biggest part of it. Thanks for listening to us be dumbasses on the radio.
Yeah,
phone,
you guys are
radio.
Whatever your
Podcast?
source of podcast intake is.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, shout out to Rogue Industries for making our gear for us.
Oh,
Super
we have
cool.
so much gear coming at us.
Martin Antonio, who we're going to meet in person.
Well, I mean, I have. The dude's a badass.
Well, I get to meet him now, so that's dope.
I don't know, dude. Your pants are gonna get tight real fast. I'm telling you, the guy's a stud.
That's awesome. So huge shout out to Martin and a huge thanks for letting us use his song "Life on the Lam." If you haven't listened to his albums, go listen to him. We've talked about him in the past. Go listen to him. He's a combat vet. Love the dude for just all the things he's doing for us and for the veteran community, and of course, Boss Graphic Design for putting together all of our logos. If you or somebody you know needs artwork fixed because your logo is bullshit or you need a marketing plan, he can set you on the right path with that. Reach out to Rudy. And if you don't follow us on any of the socials, you better, because we tag him in all of our bullshit all the time.
Yeah. And we have our honorable mention, right? We have Racing for Tomorrow.
Racing for Tomorrow, absolutely. I was about to get to them as well as a good way to get out. They're not last. They're always first. They do so much work for our veteran community, putting veterans in the seats, getting out there and helping them win the race of life and get those small wins we talked about today.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
See what I did there?
Well, yeah, that was really DJ.
Oh man. That. I mean, I'm getting this down a little bit more than I thought.
The race of life. Wow.
I mean, I
got chills. Yeah.
I hope he takes that and runs with it.
I hope he does.
I hope he crosses the finish line.
Yeah. Trademark. Bearded Viking Inc.
Boom. All right. And as always, I'm Viko, the bearded one.
And I'm the Jarl. Stay weird, beardos.
Cheers, motherfuckers. Dude, these podcasts are getting better and better and better and better. I love it so much.
Your story.